Hello and welcome to my kitchen. This is a first for me. I just thought it'd be fun, and Kara, you inspired me, so I'll send this out to you. I'm going to teach you how to stuff an artichoke and steam it and prepare it to eat and then eat it, because a lot of people are even confused about how to eat an artichoke. So first we have the artichoke. What you're going to look for is a weighty artichoke. You want it to have meat in it. You'll be surprised how often you'll pick up an artichoke and you'll just be able to squish it around. This one is okay. There are others that are in the markets these days that are really good. They're really round and the leaves are tighter, and in fact there's almost no air between one leaf to another. But this one is really good. It feels heavy, so you know there's a lot of meat in there. What some people do is they'll peel this part of it, the stem, and you can cut that up, steam that also. I just don't, and you know, I get plenty of food with the rest of the artichoke. But anyway, so I'm gonna zoom in and get up close to the cutting board, and and so I'm gonna go away, but you'll see the artichoke up close and personal. Alrighty. So here we are. We have the artichoke. The first thing I do, what you want to do is take off the base leaves, and I'll show you what I mean by that exactly. But these are too fibrous and you don't really want to deal with this part. So I get under this bottom one, and then I try to go as perpendicular to the artichoke as possible. Just get a flat base, and so here you can see, you can kind of still see the base of these bottom leaves, so you want to take them off. And I just go around and take off as much as I need to until it looks kind of like I have the full circle of leaves cut off. And the rest we're going to keep on. So we will put this in our trash bowl over here. Now what you want to do, since the tip part of the leaf isn't what you really want to eat, you're going to be eating this much. So when you look at a leaf like this, inside, its base is probably about there. So you're not worried really about it so much. You want to cut off, say, the top ½ inch or so. You want to get a lot of the tips. You don't have to get the tips of the base leaves, but you want to get a lot of the tips off. And so now you have a really good looking beginning of your stuffable artichoke. And now what you want to do, take kitchen shears or any kind of sharp shears that are clean enough to work with food, and you're just going to go around and start with the outer leaves, get them basically out of the way from your inner leaves. So go around, and then when you start coming full circle, you get lower. So what you end up with is a pretty artichoke that has almost like a retaining wall, tapered leaves. And so you have lower leaves, upper leaves, and they're all going to provide a channel. They'll each provide a channel for you to put your stuffing in. What our stuffing is going to be made of, basically, is just Italian seasons, or breadcrumbs that are Italian seasoning flavored. You can work with plain breadcrumbs and season it yourself. I used to do that, and then I just started working with the Italian seasoning breadcrumbs, and I'm fine with that. I'm not that much of a control freak. But I used to want to flavor it exactly how I wanted to flavor it. So now you have a pretty decent looking artichoke that's ready to stuff. At this point, I loosen the leaves up. Don't worry about these little guys that, they're just real tender. They're going to be very yummy and edible in a little while. But you want to loosen them up. And if you want to, you can actually use a grapefruit spoon or some kind of sharp instrument. Not sure if just a knife will do, but you can take out the inner part, which is the choke part, and it's really furry and hairy down there. You don't want to eat it, but by stretching it, you're making room for more of the stuffing to go in. Now I'm going to go over to the sink and rinse it out. It is recommended actually that you put this in cold water, like in a big bowl, and weight it down with maybe a smaller cereal bowl in the water for 10-15 minutes. And from what I've been told, I mean, it kind of gets some of the grit out of it, but just like Brussels sprouts and cabbage and things like that, bugs often make a home in these things. And so every once in a while you'll find like a little flea or something. Not to be gross, just to be informative, but I at least rinse it and get rid of any of that grit that we're talking about. So give me 2 seconds to get to the next point. At this point, since artichokes, you can already start seeing the browning happening, and it could just be because of the steel knife. Just like knives react to metal. I mean, yeah, the metal, and lettuce reacts to metal, and so you're not really supposed to cut lettuce, you're supposed to tear lettuce or use one of those plastic cutting knives. Artichokes do the same thing. So they're starting to brown, it just gets oxidized pretty quickly. So what I recommend is just take a little bit of lemon. It actually gives a really good flavor too. But just coat it with the outer part of a lemon. It smells really good. And now, it's not really going to brown too badly. We're in good shape now. So when it comes to preparing the filling, all I do is I eyeball it, but let's say 3 parts breadcrumbs to 1 part or more cheese. So we have half cup, 3/4 cup of the breadcrumbs. And now what I'm going to do is just grate the cheese. And then through the magic of television, we're going to end up with a big pile of Parmesan cheese that we're going to add. This grater actually makes pretty frilly cheese, so I'm doing maybe 2 parts of breadcrumbs to 1 part, because this will cook down quite a bit. Alright, so take your cheese and just put it right in there. Okay. Get salt and pepper. 1, 2, 3, 4. You don't want it too peppery, but you want to have some kind of little bite to it. It sounded like a lot, but it doesn't really give off that much salt. But now, look, you can see, definitely more breadcrumbs to the cheese. But the cheese is in there enough so that when it melts, every bite that you take is going to be really nice and gooey and moist and really yummy. So now what I'm going to do, I was thinking I was more prepared than this. I thought I had everything out. Okay, so let's put this here. Look, got like a little lemon seed. We don't want that. Okay. And then all I'm going to do is just go around each one, tap, tap, or open it up a little bit, and I'm just stuffing each one. And you don't have to stuff it down to the very base. It won't let you. It's, it's packed pretty tightly with its leaves, but you just want to go around, and it takes a little while. So, again, I'll fast forward for you in a bit. But you're just getting this little bit of stuffing. If you want to, open up quite a bit. But, you can see already that this is going to be fabulous. Isabella, shh. We call our kitchen due farfalle because it means 2 butterflies, and our papillons are butterflies in Italian, but they're papillons in French. Okie doke. So we are going around. I don't want to do any shortcuts for this because we will be cooking this for our dinner tonight. This makes a wonderful light dinner. I'm not sure about light, actually. I think I gain weight every time I have it. But you can see how much bread goes into it. But for a dinner party, when I was growing up, we used to just cut this in half after it was cooked, and each person would get half on their appetizer plate. And then you'd get a little bit of melted butter to dip in, just a little bit. It is not calorie free, but it is a nice little treat, and it's probably, you know, with this bread, it's probably equivalent to a sandwich or so. A sandwich on some really good bread. So, now as I get closer to the middle, and I get a little bit low on the stuffing, if I were getting very low, and at this point I'm doing okay, I can open it up still, you know, just kind of look around, see where I have spots. But then, you just put the rest on the top, as much as you want to put in there, and then just dig it in. So the tops will get really nice and yummy. Okay, wash my hands. And what we do now is we are going to put it in our steamer, okay? And drizzle it with a little bit of olive oil. When I say a little bit, you actually sometimes want to taste this. If you have really good olive oil, it's a really good flavor kind of thing, and it's really fabulous. So at this point, excuse me, at this point we're going to put it in the steamer on the stove and time it for about, with this size artichoke, I'm going to give it about 25 minutes and check it when it's done. So hopefully I'll remember to come back to you and wish me luck. Okay, the artichoke just came off the steam. It was in there for about 25 minutes. So now what you want to do is test it for doneness. So what you're going to do is pull an outer leaf off. Comes off pretty easily. Just check again. Yum, perfect. And you can see some of the stuffing stays on the side, but that's fine. Look how delicious this looks. Yummy, yummy. You can still see a little bit of steam coming off. Fabulous. It's so pretty. So when you dig in, you know, a lot of times, sometimes I'll have a fork with me. I'll just scrape the outer part off. Doesn't matter. I'm normally by myself anyway because I love these way more than my husband does. So now with this, you have a couple dipping sauces. Oh, I have a couple dipping sauces to the side. I have about a tablespoon or so of melted butter. I have a little bit of mayonnaise. I like to go for either one. Some people like Italian dressing. I can imagine like a ranch dressing would be pretty good. For the Italian seasoning, you don't want anything that's going to be too strong that might fight it a little bit. So these two are subtle enough that they complement it. And Claire, you know I love white creamy things. Mayonnaise is perfect. Sour cream might be too tangy. But anyway, so what you're going to do, excuse me, pull it off. Do like the side pull, so you scrape the stuffing out of it. So here, you have that wonderful stuff off to the side. And sometimes, like this one, you have quite a bit of stuffing in it, in this particular leaf. So, you might want to scrape the upper part of the leaf off. The bottom part is the meaty part. The upper part, though, has probably most of the stuffing because it just doesn't get down tight into where the leaf connects with the rest of the artichoke. So you can dip in whatever you have. Yumminess. And then, you know, whatever you want to dip with. Don't lose too much of your stuffing in there. Fabulous. Have your discarding bowl with you. And this makes a wonderful dinner. Like I said earlier, you want to cut it in half. Let me just show you really quickly. Show you how great this looks when it's cut in half. Hello, wonderfulness. That is a fantastic meal with or without a salad. And then when you get down to the bottom, See, this is the choke part I was talking about. You don't want to eat this part, the hairy part, about where the purple leaves start on down. So when you get down there, excuse me, you are going to have the heart of the artichoke, and I'm just going to do a bad job of cutting it off right now. But this part right here is fabulous. So when you have this, by all means, do not throw it away. Some people do, but this is almost better than the stuffed part. Bon appetit!